Hello there, love. Good afternoon, and welcome to Camnet TV's Lunchtime Cafe. I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter, your host, to be with you for the next 1 hour. Now, this afternoon we discuss national matters, and to help me discuss a number of pertinent issues is Honorable HON.RICHWELL SIAMUNENE. He is the acting chairperson for the Zambia We Want political party. Good to see you, Honorable, and welcome.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, viewers. Good to have you invited me to come and be part of as you discussed with the public.
Okay, fantastic, Honorable. It's always a pleasure hosting you. Now, Honorable, first things first. First of all, congratulations for being appointed the vice chairperson of the Zambia We Want. But let me begin by asking, how's the party doing?
Well, as you are aware, it's not, of course, a new party, but in terms of Zambia We Want, we are new in the political landscape of our country. We are not new as individuals in the political landscape. We are old people who have been there. There are some new who have been coming in now. So what caused us to have Zambia We Want is the reason behind, because we have been involved in the past government, and we thought that what is it that Zambia needs to do right now? What is missing? And identified what is missing. Hence, us as individuals, we have come together, gathered ourselves from all parts of the country, and say, look, let's deal with the question. The question is, why are we where we are today?
Okay.
So that's the question that Zambia We Want decided to deal with, because we are where we are because there are certain things that we have not done right as a country. Okay, whether it is the MMD or the UNIP or the past government, and right now there are certain things that are not, which are fundamental in our view, which we have not done well, and which have not been done well, because we have trusted very much the individuals, and then we find that at the end of the day we are disappointed. So that's why we said, okay, let's have a constitution which is designed in this order. Let's have a manifesto that is designed in this order to take this country to where it belongs.
Okay.
We are not supposed to be where we are in terms of poverty. That we are number what?
Number 6.
Number 6. This is not where we. It means that it hinges on good governance. Because if your good governance is not in order, then it will distort the whole economic activities. So you have to start with your policies, institutions that hinges on good governance must be well enough that they are able to do their duties, their functions, without interference from individuals. So that is Zambia We Want. And then from there now, we say, okay, once we have that, then it will be easier for us to have economic progress, because the individuals makes the country what it is, and those individuals, if they are not guided in how they are going to operate, they will cause the whole country to be in an undesirable position, and that is what has happened in our country. So we as Zambia We Want, we have decided to give the Zambian people what they want and what is missing, not relying on individuals, because Zambia We Want is not owned by any individual. It is owned by Zambian people who have the desire, the burning desire that things are not right, and we have ought to do things right. How do we do them? Is let's all come together and form this institution called Zambia We Want. And from Zambia We Want now, we are ready now, we can say to the Zambian people that this is our constitution, this is our manifesto. Because in order to have things that are different, you have to do things different. If you want different results, you need to do things that are different, because you cannot have the same we cannot have the different results using the same methods. You will not have the results that you desire, because you will still achieve the same results. So for us, we say, look, we want different results. Then we have to start with the way we handle issues of governance different, and then we know that we are sure that we'll get a different result at the end of the day. Because Zambian people are sick and tired of having this issue, getting rid of leaders, bringing in, but nothing is happening. So that's the question that we have.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Honorable. There has been an uprising from the youths saying that their elder brothers, their fathers, their grandfathers, you have failed them, and hence, come 2026, they are taking over all the reins of power, starting from the president. They want a youthful president. Coming to members of parliament, they want youthful members of parliament. I'm sure you are aware of this, Honorable. Let me find out, how do you make of these assertions or sentiments coming from the young people?
I think for me, it is not the age that matters.
Okay.
It's the right people with the right mindset.
Okay.
That's what matters. You can have a youth person doing things in a haphazard way. Okay? So the age itself does not matter what you are going to achieve. It's what you have, or the right mindset. Do you have love for the country? The answer is yes. What is it that you are going to do different when you get into power? Not just because I'm youthful, and then I will do things in an orderly manner. No, it's the right mindset. Okay. Because being an authority, I would call myself an authority in the mind science, mindset change. I can state there that, with the certainty that you need the right people with the right mindset. And the right mindset that you need people who are selfless, who have removed, who have transcended.
Regardless of age.
Regardless of age. Okay? Those who have transcended from individual kind of mindset that only me, to that what is good for me must be good for everybody. We need people those who have transcended from that human mind, from animal, I would call animal mind, because animal mind only looks at myself. Okay. But a human mind or spiritual mind looks at the whole. The whole is our concern. So the whole country is our concern as Zambia we want. We are not concerned ourselves. We have been in government. We have seen that. We have seen where we have gone wrong. And we know exactly what needs to be done. Because if you give somebody who has never been there and thinking that you will do something right, it will be wrong. Because you see, at one time myself in my company, look, if I want to employ a manager and the manager says, I've never failed in my life, I'll say, no, you distort my company. Because once you fail, the failing will be grave and you will affect the company gravely. So those who have been, because we are all learners, life is a course. You are learning where you did well, you are learning from where you did wrong, and then from there now, you know if you do this, the consequences will be this. Then you certainly you avoid certain things that will cause you not to achieve your goal. So this is what we need, a combination of young people and old people blended together, who have the right mindset, who have the same mind to save the country. To save the country. I'm saying to save the country. Of course, you cannot deny the fact that there are those who were in government before who saved this country. Honestly.
Okay.
Okay. Who did not put their hands in the things that belongs to the common good. Okay, there are those in the government. Let them identify them. There are those Zambians, and there are those who, of the youth, those who have demonstrated in other human endeavor. There are those who have demonstrated that no, this one can be trusted, because running a government is not a simple thing that you can say I can run government, because you need to have different mindset. Because otherwise, given that fact that they give you that position, there was even a president who said, no, I didn't know that being a president is sweet like this.
I remember.
You remember, you see, because of what is involved, you are on top of everything. And then if you are not tamed enough, if you are not educated enough to the purpose why you are getting in that position, you will end up doing certain things that destroys your country. Okay? So this is what I feel that this country needs people of good mindset, people who have nothing but to save the country, those who are have moved from that materialistic mindset, because they think that to have more money, to have more property is to live right. No. To live right as a leader is to make sure that you empower other people. Okay? Not yourself. You are there not to empower yourself. You are there to empower other people. Okay. And that's your purpose of getting into leadership. And that's we have realized that let's frame a document that will talk to the issues that is surrounding the country, and so that we move from where we are to a position which is desired by all Zambians, and all Zambians must participate. Okay? If I will tell you that in terms of leadership, according to me, is that you have to make sure others are able to express themselves. Okay? Near every Zambian must be able to express himself or herself towards the contribution to the country's well-being. Okay? So, talents like you, if you have a talent, you are contributing. This one has a talent, you are contributing. So if you are able, if you have a system that gives the Zambians that latitude, then that system will work and it will generate what is good for the country.
Okay. Now, Honorable, let me bring in this question. The youths, on the other hand, are saying they want to take over from you, their elder brothers, you, their fathers, you, their grandfathers. But you brought in an important aspect where you're saying it depends with one's mindset. Now, let's say next year when we go to the polls, looking at the Zambia we want, do you have positions that young people are occupying or can occupy? Are you accommodative enough to allow young people
that have accommodated in their party? And I can name too numerous to mention here, but we still open again to other young people to come and join. And we made it public. It's me actually who made it public. Like, no, this is Zambia we want. It's not owned by anyone. It's supposed to be owned by all of us. So can we join so that we create the Zambia we want?
Okay.
So if there are those youth who are pained, who feel that where we are as a country, this is not the position we are supposed to occupy, why can't they join us? Because the door is open. You can even come and expire as a president. Okay? We are still going for a convention.
Oh, as a party?
Yes, as a party. We are still in meeting position. Why can't you come and join instead of complaining that, look, young people, they will know, but who is going just to give you that, no, come and, they must show themselves to the Zambian people that I am capable. Even when I'm a youth, I'm capable of taking this country to another level. That will be given a chance. But not based on where you come from. Zambia we want is not a party that is based on the regional or what. It's a party that is encompassing all ethnic tribes or regions or what. So everyone is accommodated. And we don't look at where you come from. Okay, we look at it as you are here Zambian, yes, come and join. We don't even ask.
So in the Zambia we want, there's nothing like this political party belongs to this particular tribe or ethnic grouping? Because we have seen that from previous political parties where people would claim that the only person that can succeed Mr. Ritual SIAMUNENE is from this party. It's in public domain, Honorable. Are you telling us? Are you telling us that the Zambia we want embraces everyone?
It's true. Very true.
Okay.
Okay. Very true, in the sense that if it was not like that, I would have not joined myself. You remember I came from UPND?
Exactly.
Okay? I fought that in UPND. Before that, I said, look, I deliberately so I joined Michael Sita's government.
The PF?
The PF, yes. Deliberately. So I said, look, there is no Tonga person there. I am going to join that administration because they are running the country.
Exactly.
And a part of this country, and we can't have an administration that is lopsided. No, I said I'm going to join, and I made it deliberate consciously, knowing very well that there will be consequences. But I said no, I'm going to defer because I have to. I joined, and I fought there, and I supported. I've no shame that I've supported His Excellency former President Edgar Lungu. When there was a by-election, I supported. And I was almost killed in Southern Province because there are some people who thought that I'm supposed to support only somebody from Southern Province. Okay? And not only that, I would tell you that I faced the same issue. When I came in PF, there are some people who didn't trust me because I'm Tonga.
Oh, okay.
They didn't trust me. I said, no, there's no way. Who said it to Edgar Lungu? Why did you appoint this Tonga man to be the defense minister? Don't you think it's dangerous? But the president default says, no. This is Zambia. It's a Zambia. It's me who is appointed. So what I'm saying is that even in the opposition, this I must state it because I'm not a tribalist and I will never be one.
Okay.
Even in the opposition, they are tribalists.
In the opposition?
In the opposition, they are tribalists.
The current opposition?
The current opposition, they are tribalists. Because if you are going to say I say no, this president, His Excellency, has destroyed the chances of the Tongas. Are you not being tribal?
That's a tribal sentiment.
That's a tribal sentiment. That's a tribal thinking. And I will not be shy to state that. That's a tribal. If there is any Zambian who thinks that you are being tribal. And in this government as well, they are tribalists.
In the UPND?
Yeah, they are tribalists. Yes, they are tribalists who think that only those who from one region should be given the chances. They are tribalists. So when we are fighting tribalism, we should not only use tribalism to fight tribalism. No, you don't use evil to fight evil. Okay? You use good to fight evil. So if there are those who are in the opposition now, they are thinking that because there is a Tonga president there, and then no Tonga should be given a chance in the near future because this one, according to them, it has failed. No, is it a tribe that has failed? Or is it a region that has failed? If there is any failure, it's an individual failure.
So in other words, Honorable, what you're saying is that individual failures should not be equated to a regional
tribal failure. No.
Okay.
They voted President Hakainde, the Zambian, as a person, thinking that he will manage the affairs of the nation. And if there is any failure, must not be attributed to a tribe. Here I am, I'm Tonga. I'm proud, I'm Tonga. I can't run away. It's not a crime for me to be a Tonga person, or it's God's design. Here I am I supporting President Hakainde?
Not at all.
I just certain things I do not agree. So why should it be attributed in that order? Now if there is anyone, any Zambian who thinks in that order, you are being tribal. You are a tribalist. So come out of that tribalistic way and do things in a manner that they are supposed to be doing. That is how we can build this country. Okay? Let's single out and say this one has failed. Not a tribe. There was Michael Sata. There was Chiruba. If there was any failure with Chiruba, we did not attribute it to tribe. No. There was Balungu. We don't need to attribute it to tribe. Well, no. Why should it be now be attributed to the whole Tongas that have failed? Why is it like that? No, it should not be like this. You are being a tribal, my brother or sister. So let's just run this country and let's identify if somebody has failed as an individual, and must be, the whole country must be, get together and say, look, we thought you were going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and you have failed, and we are removing it. And then identify somebody who can do better, or whom we think that whom we have a track record of what, like, look, in the past, you did this, and I think this one can qualify to be the president. Or for, if somebody has not done anything, and thinking that because he's a youthful person, and he will do better, you are just cheating yourself. You will land yourself into the same issue. So that's why they ask you, even when you got the job here, they had to ask you and say, Mr. Smata, tell us can you give us your CV? So everyone, every Zambian, everyone who wants to be the president must give the CV to Zambian people. And the Zambian people in their checklist, they should not put the tribe as as a determinant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Honorable, let me find out. Not so long ago, you had a press briefing where opposing political parties were. Okay. Before I even ask this question, let's quickly go for a short break. We'll be right back shortly. Okay, thank you so much for still joining us. Remember that we are live on Camnet TV as well as Honorable Ritual SIAMUNENE Facebook page. Please follow us and leave a comment there. Now, Honorable, before that particular break, my question to you was, you recently had a press briefing.
Yes.
At Arcades, where opposition political parties came together regarding the constitutional proposed constitutional amendments. Now, for some, this looked like an opportunity for opposition political parties to come together and work together for one common good. However, it was the issue of constitutional amendments. Before we come to constitutional amendments, let me ask you this question, Honorable. Is the Zambia we want open to political alliances?
Well, the truth is that Zambia we want is prepared to go into an alliance with any political party or any individuals or group of individuals.
Okay.
Those who have the same mind that we as a country, what we ought to do. We must agree. We don't want to get into an alliance just for the sake of removing the sitting president and then what?
Okay.
So we must agree and say, look, when we remove this one, what things are we going to bring, or what changes are we going to initiate to have a better Zambia? I think what we are here, Zambia we want, is here for better Zambia, and we have coined our constitution and our manifesto towards that. Okay, we have a beautiful manifesto and a constitution where we are saying, look, in terms of leadership of the party, we don't need to put the president or the president to be the leader of the political party and the leader of government. No. We need to check the exercise of the president. How do we do that? Let's have the chairman be the leader of the party.
Isn't that a recipe for conflict, Honorable? We saw this during the Chuluba Manawasa administration, where former President Frederick Chuluba started arguing that he is still the party president, while there was a sitting president governing the nation, and his argument was him being the party president, he has to give instructions to the incumbent president, and that caused some conflict there, and it didn't end well for the MMD, so to say. But isn't that
maybe the constitution is able to spell how the modalities, how that is achieved? Maybe it was not done in the proper manner. Okay. It was thinking that since he was the party president, was going to control the other one. But if it is in the constitution, then the chairman himself knows where he ends. The president as well knows where he ends. And it's not only in Zambia. It's something that is being done also in South Africa. You remember at one time, Jacob Zuma was recalled by the party. Upon views from the general public. Because that is what is letting us. Because you see, when you are the president, there must be an institution that checks your activities. Okay. In case you are not doing what is right according to Zambian people, who is going to say, hey, Mr. President, wait a minute. What did we tell the Zambian people? We told them this and this and this, and what we are doing is contrary. So you will make our party being disadvantaged in the next election. So can you do these things right? Now, if he insists on doing that, then the party is able to say, oh, we'll recall you now. Come back. You are not fit to be the president because you are not doing what we agreed with the Zambian people. So that has been done elsewhere, and it has worked very well. Now, in our case, Zambia, we have perfected. We have seen the inadequacies. We have seen the flaws in that system, but we have made sure that ours is well structured and well guided. So that in such a manner, it means we are going to run a country that is able to move without acrimony, as we are seeing right now. That okay, the constitution making process, the government can wake up in the morning, no, we are doing this and this, we are doing this and this now without the consultations, and then this, if they don't know, they are disadvantaging themselves with the public. They are causing a debate where they are not supposed to be debate. But if there was a political party was standing on its own, and there's as we call ourselves, National Leadership Council, and then they were able to sit, is it right what we are doing? Then they will be able to say, Mr. President, I think it's not right. Can we vote this, what we are doing? Because it will disadvantage us. Okay? So this is, we are doing all these, we are bringing all these changes because we realize that these are the things that has made Zambia to be where we are. Okay? Because the president is there and no one checks on the president what he's doing. And no one can argue with the president. So you need a strong team somewhere who are able to go to the president. No, we sponsored you as a party. Because the president is sponsored by the party. Now, what we are seeing in these other political parties, the parties is sponsoring you and you are the everything of that party, political party. That brings a recipe for failure.
Okay.
Because you are everything. And if you want, you can either disappoint somebody who is against you. I'm firing you as a president of the party. I'm firing as a president of the country. So we are saying no to that. Because you should not be everything as a president. There must be somewhere where you say, okay, I have to consult. And there must be people who are able to check on what you are doing, whether you are doing the right thing or not. So how do we do that? Is having the constitution of that nature. So that is why Zambia has done that. Because of these failures. We don't want to bring the president who is everything. Okay. or Christ-like, and that is everything, and you can decide literally with whatever move that you want to make, disregarding the views of others.
But even Christ consults from the Father and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everything is that, but he has to consult. He didn't do on in his own. But you see, as a human being, you know that you need to be guided by certain laws, certain statutes, and then you have to consult. There are institutions as well which need to be respected in the process. So this is why we have couched our constitution in that manner. Okay. What is unique? The other thing that is unique about our manifesto is that we shall give the Zambian people the latitude to take charge of their own affairs. Every Zambian will be called to say, what is it that you know better, which this government can give you that space for you to exploit yourself, to exercise yourself, and ultimately contributing to a national development. So we shall give that. The Zambian people will be central in our whole process running government, because we realize that there is no country in the whole world that has ever developed, that has ever achieved meaningful development. Okay, that is affluent by using country or companies, or rather companies or individuals from other countries. Go out, do a research. You will not find, unless the people themselves are involved in economic activity. Yes, there's a space to you to invite other foreign direct investment. It is called,
but it's you, there must be again. It's you, the politicians again, who keep on telling the Zambian people that they do not have capacity, for example, to run the mines. It's you, the politicians.
No, that's why I read our manifesto. That's why our manifesto, we have realized that if there are some of us who are saying that, okay, if there are some who are saying that who belong to Zambia, we are saying no to that now. The consensus now that the Zambian people, they are great as the greatest anywhere. Okay? So they are great people. The Zambian people are great people. They have all what it takes.
But why do you neglect them as politicians? I'm asking you this question, Honorable, because you have been on both sides of the fence. But you have been on both sides of the fence. You have been in government, you have been in the ruling party, and you have been in opposition. So I'm asking you these questions because the Zambian people feel neglected each time a political party forms government, Honorable. For instance, they have been told that ZW, for instance, the Zambia we want, ZWW. If they question to say, you told the Zambian people that you are going to give licenses to the young people of Zambia so that they can partner with foreign nationals, they will be told to say, that was part in the manifesto, now we are following the constitution of Zambia, the supreme law of the land. You discard your party constitutions when you form government, and you have seen that happening.
No, yes, because you see, the thing is that what you did yesterday, it may not be the same thing that you are going to do today. Because in life, we are all learning. You learn from your mistake, okay? And you learn from things that you have done well. When you know where you have done badly or your mistakes, then you know that you are going to avoid it in the future. Now, the thing that is that where we have reached now, we are on the threshold of new era.
Okay.
We have to create new Zambia, new way of doing things. Those are old ways. The new way of doing things is what I've told you. Now, we have said, okay, in case we decide with as a party, and then when we get into government, we'll have a president who is cantankerous, who will not be able to follow what we have agreed. What do? That is why we have decided that no, let's separate now. Let's have the party and the party and government, the president now, the executive. So let's have the party. So much so that if there will be any move, any maneuver, okay, not to follow what we have agreed, Okay? We have a way how we can discipline the president, because that's what has been happening. So you find that when you get into government, you throw away your manifesto and do what? Now that is where we have identified that there is this tendency that we agree, and when you agree, and when you get into government, because the president is too powerful, he will win everyone and do what he thinks right, that favors himself or herself. And that is why we have separated, we have put a distinction there as a party, and that one who is the head of government should not be the head of the party. Okay? The head of government should not be the head of the party. The head of the party must be separated from the head of government. So much so that we are able to check these issues once they come. So that this manifesto that we have agreed, and he has also, among ourselves, somebody who will be the president. We have agreed here. We have agreed and say, okay, the problem that has been there is that people, when they get into power, they do the opposite.
Why is that the case? You have been in government before, right? Why is that the
because of our greediness and our selfishness and the constitution, because our constitutions gives more powers to the president. So we have proposed that we must shed some of these powers and give to the institutions to promote good governance. Okay. That's what we've agreed.
Okay, let's come to the constitution.
I hope I've answered because this is very important point.
It is very important.
Point.
I'm glad that you
people do something else when they are in government. When they still want soliciting for votes, they speak with good words. They are very sweet in their language, and then later on, when they get to the position, then they do the opposite. This is what is happening. This is what is happening, because we have to identify. Some of us, we have been learning, and sometimes we are in minister, yes, we say, but this one, not. Sometimes we were whispering to the head of state when we were in government, sir, but this one, if you fire me, just fire me, but it's not right to do like this and this. But when the majority have said this, then you tend to follow it. But we have said that our constitution must be our constitution and our manifesto, which we launched. Okay, you were there yourself. Which we launched must be followed to the letter.
Okay.
And how do we make sure that it is followed? Is by having that separation, and at the end of the day, share the presidential powers that when and give it to the institutions, so that when you have anti-corruption must be able to operate independently. They must be able to assess. Okay, they must be given a guide how to operate,
in this case,
as opposed to be instructed by the president.
Okay, in this case, Honorable, let us spend a little bit of time on that one. In this case, who's going to appoint commissioners on the board of the Anti-Corruption Commission? Who's going to appoint the DG, Director General, for the Anti-Corruption Commission? Because currently it's the president, and when they are sworn in, now they swear to be loyal to the appointing authority.
Yeah.
So in this case, as ZWW,
what is the proposal is? The proposal is we have already institutions. We have the police. You have the Law Association of Zambia. You have other institutions that you mentioned, which must constitute the anti-corruption board.
Okay.
Okay. Now, amongst themselves, okay, they are recommended by institutions. Okay. Then when they assemble, if they are 12 or 11, in the other way 11, then amongst themselves, they are able now, in order to promote good governance, they are able to appoint or to select amongst themselves who will be the chairperson. Once you have done that, it means then the board now will be able to advertise for the DG, Director General, or Chief Executive of that institution. Once they advertise, then people who are qualified, okay, people who are qualified will be able, qualified Zambian will be able to apply, and the assessment will be done by the board, and the board will make a decision that the one fit at this time is this one.
So who appoints the board then? How does the board come together for them to appoint a board chairperson?
No, I've told you, in order to promote good governance,
yes,
there are institutions, okay? I've given you, for example, the
Zambia police.
Zambia police, okay? You say, okay, from the former IG, we can appoint one person, goes in there. Then from Law Association of Zambia, the Law Association of Zambia is an institution that is respected. They will recommend a person to belong to the board.
No,
are you getting me?
Okay.
Then you go to other institution or these institutes for the accountants, okay? Or Engineers Association of Zambia. Then you find that the Engineers Association of Zambia will recommend one person, say you go and sit in the board. Since the law states that the one person who belong to who constitute anti-corruption commission will come from this particular institution. So once you do that, okay, once you do that, it means that you have avoided the influence of the executive.
Okay.
And then the board now decides who should be chair. Or they say Smata can be chair. Okay? Not necessarily the president to recommend or the minister to recommend. Say Smata can chair now the board.
Okay.
Okay. Then from there you advertise and you have a chief executive. Then that way, if there is any smell that some ministers or directors or permanent secretaries have committed an offense that requires investigation, they will not seek authority from anybody because they have the mandate by the constitution, and they will just go in whether you are in government or not in government. Because that doesn't mean that if I am the president, that doesn't mean that I cannot be involved in corruption. I may be involved in corruption when I'm still seated there. So there must be a way of even going to the highest office and say, no, sir, according to us, these are the things that happened, and these were instructed by you. That way we are going to run this country professionally, that way we are going to run this country, and I can tell you that once we do that, there will be progress in this country.
So on that one, Honorable, let me bring in this aspect again. There have been some concerns from members of the public and some sections of society suggesting that members of parliament should also have a term limit. For instance, currently there are members of parliament that are serving this year. By 2026, it will be 25 years in parliament. When you look at their constituencies, the roads are deplorable, no running water in some of their areas in their constituencies. Some of their constituencies look as though a missile recently fell into that constituency. The structures leave much to be desired. But these are members of parliament that have been in parliament for 20 years, 25 years, 15 years, and their constituencies are still lagging behind. Even when CDF is being enhanced, Honorable, you find that 0.something% utilization of CDF. The Zambian people are concerned. If a president can have 2 terms to be in office, why can't members of parliament also have a term limit? Do you agree with that notion?
No, you see, anything that will promote good governance and progress of this country and achieve economic emancipation, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
The people of Zambia must decide at any given time how they want to manage themselves.
Okay.
So that is it doesn't subtract or it doesn't add anything. What it adds is supposed to have the right people at the right time, doing the right thing. That is my concern. Okay? Okay. No, having that is okay.
But 15 years, 20 years, no improvement.
No improvement. I think there must, again, you see, the issue is this. There must be education also with the voters. Why are you keeping on voting somebody for 25 years who has not done, 25 years, who has done nothing? Why are you keeping on employing somebody who is not doing anything as to upgrade your life? So why are you doing that? The voters are also there. Sometimes it's not about putting laws. It's about being the people to decide and say, we shall have this.
But don't you think, Honorable, if the laws are there, at least if someone serves for 2 terms, they'll be kicked out and then somebody else continues? It will limit misbehavior.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. No, it's also sometimes they will say, no, after all, next year I'm going out. So the last 10, you are doing everything that you can do without doing anything, because you know that you are going out.
All right,
so that can have a disadvantage and advantage either way. But for me, my concern is what I want in the right mindset, the right people at the right time doing the right thing.
Okay. Honorable, constitutional amendments. We have seen the Chona Commission, Mungomba Commission, Mvunga Commission, the NDF making process. This particular process that is happening under the current administration of the UPND has raised a lot of eyebrows from members of the public. You have government and party officials giving conflicting statements, and this in itself has raised a lot of eyebrows. How should a constitutional amendment process be treated like? What's the process in simple terms?
The process must be that it must be consensus.
Okay.
It must be consensus. Because if we don't do it in that manner, then it will cause an eyebrow to the other people. Okay. Because even when we are doing the right thing, if there is no consensus, then it will be difficult for it to be accepted. So the best that you can do, you are dealing with a national issue that hinges on the rights of the many.
Exactly.
So the best that you can do as government, make sure that there is consensus at every given time when matters of looks at the lives of the Zambian people, because you are not going to be in government for long. You will come out of government, and you want also people to get involved.
Do you politicians forget that one day you'll be out of government? One day you no longer be president. Do you normally forget?
We normally forget. We normally forget when we are there. Because what is happening is that you see, somebody is doing something as though he's not going, as though it's his own house, as though it's his own farm. So you find that sometimes it's very difficult.
Okay. So Honorable, let's quickly take a break. We'll be right back shortly. Okay, let's quickly take that break. We'll be right back shortly. Okay, thank you so much for still joining us on the Lunchtime Cafe. We are still with Honorable HON.RICHWELL SIAMUNENE. He is the acting chairperson for the Zambia We Want political party, and he is here to discuss with us pertinent matters bordering on national affairs. Honorable, as we begin to wind it up, the people of Zambia are watching. Members of the Zambia We Want political party are watching. Now, as we begin to wind up on constitutional amendments, there are assertions, Honorable, that we have drawn lessons from Bill 10. Some clauses were okay in Bill 10, others were not okay. And some political pundits, stakeholders, governance experts are saying, political actors such as yourself, are saying, maybe, just maybe, the UPND wants to push something in there. Of course, they've talked about women proportionate representation, youth representation, but maybe this is a smoke screen. There's something behind the smoke that they want to push into the constitution. And these stakeholders have asked the UPND to show us the clauses that they want to amend. However, conflicting statements have come from the UPND, and the last statement was given by the Minister of Justice, where she said the process is yet to start. Okay? Now let me ask you this question, Honorable. How do you look at this whole process?
You know, I'll be very, very honest.
Please, Honorable.
I don't want any negative thing to happen to my country.
Okay.
Okay? And if I'm honest in my discourse, I will not hide anything.
Okay.
Because we are dealing with the public. We are dealing with the Zambian people. And in that case, don't give ammunition to your opponent. Your intention may be good, but because you are hiding, you are hiding the process, you are not open enough. This is what happened with the PF. I was in PF.
Yes.
It happened. The Bill 10.
The Bill 10
was okay. Some things there, they were very good. And they're the same thing that the UPN are saying we are bringing. Just because we are not open enough, you did not go back to the people and say, look, this is the template. This is what we think as your executive need to be looked at. Why? You talk about the negative and the positive.
Is history repeating itself?
Yes. It is in the manner that it is now.
And do you, the
and people
learn from history?
And that is why Zambia, we want to do things different. That's why these are the things that we have looked at.
No.
These are the things that we have looked at. We have said that, look, this having a person forming a political party and a person now being in charge, it's just like your company. Because it has become like a company.
It becomes an enterprise.
An enterprise. So anyone who wants to control also the nation as though you are controlling your political party.
Your company.
Your company. Because you see, there is a company there, and those who are forming political parties, they are forming a political party as though it's their company, the way the formation of a company is done. And then you are the chairman, you are the chief executive, you can disappoint and appoint and literally everything. Then you take that mindset into government. And then you then want to do like the way you are doing with your political party. And that is why we are saying no to this. This will not give us progress. And that is why we are saying, that's why some people think that we don't want alliances. No. True. Far from the truth. Far from the truth. We are for alliances based on agreed fundamental issues that hinges on national progress. What is it that must identify we are getting into together? Why are we getting into together? This first issue must be to uplift the lives of the Zambian people. That is number one. Then in order to implement this which we have decided, which we have all agreed, that the method to upgrade the lives of the Zambian people is this one. Then we have agreed, what do we do? Then we have to remove this one. That's how now, that one is, so the primary issue is what you are going to do. Okay. The secondary issue is to remove the one that is standing your way in order to implement what you have decided to implement. And that is what we have decided.
Honorable, like you said, you the politicians are switch talkers, and the Zambian people normally fell for your switch talk.
Yeah.
Now, Honorable, we have heard all these. We want to uplift the lives of the Zambian people. People should be having 4 meals a day, and but we are seeing reports coming out. Certain ministers are giving themselves CDF contracts. They are giving their proxies. They are giving their own companies where their children and themselves are shareholders. It's in public record. It's there for those that want to find out. How then are you going to uplift the lives of the Zambian people when, number one, your children are already privileged? Number two, you yourself as a minister, as an MP, as a member of parliament, you get 2.5 million gratuity every year. Isn't that being privileged enough? You are now denying ordinary Zambian people from getting contracts to construct a school, 1x3 classroom, and you are still serving as a minister, as a member of parliament, honorable. How then can you uplift the lives of the Zambian people if such is happening? And that's only one ministry. How about these other ministries having individuals?
That's why I'm saying, going into 2026, the Zambian people must be careful. Don't, please, don't just rush on getting rid of somebody. You should also know what you are bringing in.
Okay.
These are the appeal for Zambian people. Don't rush and say, let's remove him, then you don't know what you are bringing. So you see, what is there is very painful. Some of us, we have lived our... I can tell you that CDF did not start now. It has been there. It is evidence there. When what did I do myself when I was a member of parliament in Snazongwe, controlling CDF? I had to appoint a person who was independent from the Catholic father, okay, from Mamba there. I appointed and I said, look, you are going to be in charge of that. I should not influence anything. And we said, let's put up the guideline. Let's be fair to all the people that this is not. And I'm not going to influence anyone. Okay. And what I'm going to do is that, and I will make it open.
Okay.
And that's what happens that I ended up being hated by my own relatives. Okay? They wanted me to support them and give them the contract. But I said, no. Me, when I'm a member of parliament, all the people that reside within this constituency are my relative. And they must be given equal opportunity. Now, how can we achieve that at the national level? At the national scale?
Yes, at the national level.
At the national level.
How do you achieve that?
In order for us to achieve that, one issue that I've said earlier, I said we must make sure that these institutions that are fundamental to good governance, they must be given the autonomy. Okay? The way I've explained. When you have done that, if there is one minister who is corrupt, they will not seek any authority from anyone. They will just move there. That's number one. They will go there.
Okay.
Number two is that people that are involved in public affairs, I think, instead of us having that declaring the interest, I think, in my view, if you have, that is my view, not in my view, that is my view.
Yes, as honorable
Siamune, not as agreed as Zambia we want.
No.
In my view, I think once somebody has decided to say, I'm going to work in the public domain, and you are dealing with the public, I think should not have any contract government.
Okay.
That's my view. Should not be given any, because
nothing like declaring interest.
Even the president for me, if I'm told to say, can you make a decision on that one, I'll say the president, the vice president, the ministers, and everyone, and even MPs, once you have decided, the DC commissioner, we have decided to be in the public office. Yes. Do you know what it takes to deal with the public? You must, first of all, you must be fair. So for you to achieve that fairness, we must delink you from any contract in government. Make sure that you are not going to be to apply or to tender any document where you have an interest.
Okay.
Period. And say, look, this is public. If you want to do business, if you want to have a fair chance to get into government contract, then you must not join this domain, this public domain. It's not for you. Go and do business outside and apply. Leave. This is the public because it deals with the public. That is my view.
Fantastic. Honorable, as we go, your last words in a minute.
No, I think for me, I think the Zambian people don't be cheated. Failure is not a tribe, it's an individual. And failure is not a race, it's an individual. If somebody has failed, let's deal with that failure. Individuals. Okay. Otherwise, even people who don't want to support that particular person. Because this is very important, when there is a downgrade in terms of poverty, okay, it affects everyone in Zambia.
It's Zambia.
A bag of meal, the southern province, eastern province, northern province, no, how much? So it affects everyone. Okay? Now, this issue of saying, even when you have a chance of doing the right thing, supported by other people, because of your sentiment, usually people tend to say, can they have put it the tribal? So this one is you live, instead of chance of removing somebody, you are now making people frustrated from somewhere and supporting you even when they don't believe in that. So let's be fair. Let's be fair. When I've failed as SIAMUNENE, let me not fail as a Tonga. And let me not go to the Tonga people and say, look, me, they want to remove me because I'm
victim mentality.
Victim mentality. What did I do when I was in the government? Maybe I did not even share with my tribesmates. They have no clue. They have not even. Maybe it's only in my family that, and my closer.
Your inner circle.
The inner circle that were given those privileges. Okay. And then I want to cry to the whole tribe and to support me. No, that I say no.
Okay, Honorable, thank you so much, and for putting your foot down in terms of tribalism and all these issues that have to do with ethnicity. After all, we are one Zambia, one nation. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you very much, and God bless you. And God bless the Zambian people.
Thank you, Honorable.
As we get closer to
2026,
choosing our preferred leaders.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. You have seen, now, dear viewers, politicians are gearing up for 2026. You also should gear up for 2026. Honorable HON.RICHWELL SIAMUNENE was my guest this afternoon. He is the acting chairperson for the Zambia We Want political party, and I have been your host, Tapelo Joe Smarter is my name. On behalf of my director, Mr. Lungu upstairs, it's bye-bye. We'll see you when you see us. Good afternoon.